Time now for the morning rush. Prosecutors are asking to keep 3 of the now 6 suspects tied to the murder of an Espanola teen locked up until trial. The state has filed a motion for the preventative detention for Anton Martinez, Mark Heiss, and his girlfriend, Brittany Garcia. Prosecutors say Heiss was shooting at people he thought were after him. Cameron Martinez was killed in a case of mistaken identity. Now, 3 others were also injured. Now, the number of suspects is now up to 6. On Tuesday night, state police made more arrests, including 17-year-old Katrina Moya and 16-year-old Alejandra Gonzalez, who told police that she was driving one of the cars. Hurricane Michael continues to move inland this morning. The storm is currently sitting over Georgia and is now being downgraded to a tropical storm. Now, some of the worst damage was seen in Panama City, where countless buildings had their walls and roofs blown off. Now, an initial estimate put the cost of the hurricane at $10 billion. Kristen?
Thank you.
Metro Threat Index added 2 for some cold temperatures this morning in the 30s and 40s, 60s this afternoon underneath a mostly sunny sky here in Albuquerque.
The operator of the limo company involved in last weekend's deadly crash in upstate New York is out of jail this morning. Nauman Hussein was freed on bail after pleading not guilty to a charge of criminally negligent homicide. The crash in New York killed 18 people in the limo and 2 pedestrians. Investigators say Hussein allowed an unsafe vehicle to be used by a man who did not have the proper license to drive it. Well, this morning, police are likely preparing to interview the victim involved in a shooting outside the Frontier restaurant on Tuesday night. Police were waiting for him to regain consciousness after being rushed into surgery. APD says a man was shot in the leg several times in front of the restaurant. Police say no one else was hurt and no arrests have been made in connection to the shooting. Well, later this month, the Bernalillo County DA's office says it will file a formal response to a motion filed by the attorney for the woman charged with the death of 10-year-old Victoria Martins. She is asking Judge Charles Brown to drop the charge of child abuse resulting in death. Last month, she was willing to sign a plea deal for 49 years in prison. The highest charge as part of that deal was child abuse resulting in death. Now, Judge Brown rejected the deal. Her attorney says the state does not have enough evidence to prove that Kelly is a killer of any kind. In court documents, prosecutors argue Kelly had a responsibility to protect Victoria. Well, the City Different can start making a change to go green. This is Santa Fe City Councilors could vote in November on a plan to reduce the city's carbon footprint. According to the Santa Fe New Mexican, they plan to be carbon neutral by 2040 to fight climate change. Now, the city's plan includes using renewable energy and reducing water use. Los Alamos National Labs is resuming regular waste shipments to WIPP in Carlsbad. For the first time in over 4 years, LANL announced that radioactive waste was successfully shipped to WIPP last week. WIPP began accepting shipments again last year after being closed for nearly 3 years. That was reportedly due to leaked radiation from a drum of waste sent from LANL. Crystal?
Good morning. Yes, Special Shapes Rodeo is a go this morning. We do have that green flag up. Dawn Patrol's already up, and we already see some more balloons, cold inflating out on the field. Approximately 20 new Special Shapes will make an appearance for this balloon fiesta. That includes an inflatable Vincent Van Gogh. Also, some newcomers like Cynthia the Seal and Bila the Bear. You can also expect the Bees to make an appearance, as well as the Carousel, possibly even Clarabelle this morning. Look to the skies. Balloons are coming your way.
An Albuquerque restaurant owner is now having to find different places to put his luxury cars after his neighbors say he is taking up the whole street. Steve Paternoster owns Italian restaurant Scalo in Nob Hill. His Westside neighbors say that they've talked to him about moving his cars out of the street, but no action has been taken. Paternoster says he's working on moving the cars onto his property after they were orange tagged by code enforcement from the city. Now, the city says vehicles cannot take up more than 60% of the front yard. Well, the state is celebrating after another record year for tourism. According to Governor Susana Martinez, last year's tourism numbers had the largest economic impact in state history, bringing in about $6.6 billion. That's a more than 3% increase from the previous year. Now, that comes out to nearly $753,000 spent by visitors every hour last year. Work is being done on a project that will not only bring the state's aging energy system up to date, but also protect it from cyber attacks. Officials say they'll be doing this by creating smart grids. It's a project being worked on by students and faculty from UNM, NMSU, and New Mexico Tech. Now, thanks to a 5-year, $20 million National Science Foundation grant, the research can continue and existing electricity distribution feeders will be transformed into interconnected smart grids. Let's get a look at your traffic outlook this morning at 6:51. You can see that everything is moving at this time. That includes especially around Balloon Fiesta Park, where again the crowds are gathering for a big show this morning. Well, Skittles is getting a spooky twist that may make you think twice before taking a handful. Zombie Skittles are what they're coming out with. Now, the new Skittles will be made up of 5 flavors like mummified melon and boogeyman blackberry. Rotten zombie flavors will also be mixed into the bag. Skittles' parent company has not commented on what those flavors will taste like. You'll just have to wait to grab some around Halloween, and they'll launch in 2019. Time now for the 5 facts. At number 5, it's the 6th day of this year's Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, and today is the Special Shapes Rodeo. You will see some fan favorites like Darth Vader, the Penguins, and the Bees. There are also 20 special shapes making their first appearance this year, like Billa the Bear, Cynthia the Seal, and a 140-foot tall version in a balloon form of the famous statue of Christ the Redeemer that overlooks Rio de Janeiro. They will also see an inflatable portrait of Vincent van Gogh. There's a Glodio happening tonight at 6 p.m. At number 4, the state is still likely celebrating this morning after another record-breaking tourism year. According to Governor Susana Martinez, last year's tourism numbers had the largest economic impact in state history. That brings in about $6.6 billion. That's a more than 3% increase from the previous year. Now that comes out to nearly $753,000 spent by visitors every hour last year. Kristen?
At number 3, looking at temperatures in the 60s this afternoon underneath that mostly sunny sky. Got some rain showers coming in late tomorrow into Saturday, especially across southern New Mexico. Temperatures dropping from those 60s and 70s down to the 50s by Monday.
At number 2, prosecutors are now filing a motion to keep 3 of the now 6 suspects tied to the murder of an Espanola teen locked up until trial. The state has filed a preventative detention for Anton Martinez, Mark Heiss, and his girlfriend Brittany Garcia. Prosecutors say Heiss was shooting at people he thought were after him. Now, Cameron Martinez was killed in a case of mistaken identity. 3 of the originally arrested suspects appeared in court yesterday. On Tuesday night, state police arrested 17-year-old Katrina Moya and 16-year-old Alejandra Gonzalez, who told police that she was driving one of those cars. And at number 1, a man police keep having run-ins with is back on the streets this morning after new allegations emerged. Police were called to Central and Ash last week on a report that 49-year-old Stephen Leadwright was reportedly chasing a 911 caller while he was armed with a knife. Now, he was booked on an outstanding warrant for a 2016 indecent exposure arrest. That's one of 3 pending criminal cases against him. Now, you may remember in 2017, Leadwright pled guilty in the criminal case tied to threatening people with a machete. This was at a shopping center at Lomas and San Pedro. Now, Judge Charles Brown sentenced him to time served. He was back on the streets last September. Court records show that he was released from jail on the new allegations on Sunday after posting a $200 bond.